Welcome to 21st Sports Recap and Reaction for the Jacksonville Jaguars at the New England Patriots in their Week 3 matchup, which was played September 27, 2015. We're going to go over all the scores and the stats and give our breakdown and analysis. And there were plenty of scores in this game, as the Patriots would score on every single possession except for they took a knee on the final possession. It was the only time in this game where they got the ball and didn't score, was when they took a knee in the victory pose. But let's get started with all the scoring in this game. Start off in the first quarter, just 3 minutes in. Dion Lewis ran it in from 8 yards out. Gostkowski hit the extra point, and it was 7-0 New England over Jacksonville. Gostkowski would hit a 46-yard field goal about 9 minutes later, with about 3 minutes left in the first quarter, to make it 10-0 Patriots over the Jaguars, and that was the score after 1 quarter of play. So in the second quarter, with about 9.5 minutes left before halftime, the Jaguars got on the board for the first time when Myers hit a 40-yard field goal, and that made it 10-3 as the Jaguars cut the Patriots' lead to 7. So then with less than 4 minutes left before halftime, Gostkowski hit a 20-yard field goal, and that made it 13-3 as the Patriots extended their lead to 10. Then with less than a half a minute left before halftime, Tom Brady hit Danny Amendola for a 1-yard touchdown, which happened to be his 400th career touchdown, as he is one of just 4 quarterbacks in the history of the NFL to throw 400 or more touchdown passes. Dan Marino having 420, Brett Favre with 508, and Peyton Manning with 533, and Brady with 400. With this one, Gostkowski got the extra point, and it was now a 17-point lead for the Patriots with the score New England 20, Jacksonville 3, heading into halftime. So now coming out of halftime, on the first possession for the Patriots of the second half would result in a 46-yard field goal by Gostkowski, and that made it a 20-point lead for the Patriots with the score 23-3. Then with about 2 minutes later, less than 2 minutes later, with 9 minutes still left in the third, LeGarrette Blount punched it in from a yard out. Gostkowski hit the extra point, and it was now a 27-point lead for the Patriots with the score 30-3. So then the Jaguars would get into the end zone for the first time in this game, down by 4 touchdowns. And Bortles hit Allen Hurns for a 59-yard touchdown. The extra point by Myers was good, and it was now a 20-point game once again with the score New England 30, Jacksonville 10. And that was with about 6 minutes left in the third. Then 3 minutes later, with a little over 3 minutes left in the third, Tom Brady throws his second touchdown pass of the game, his 401st career touchdown pass. This one to Keyshawn Martin, and it's a 13-yard touchdown reception that would put it back to a 27-point lead once Gostkowski kicked the extra point, with the score New England 37, Jacksonville 10. So that was the score after 3 quarters of play. Then in the fourth quarter, just seconds into the fourth quarter, LeGarrette Blount punches in his second touchdown of the game, another 1-yard touchdown run. Gostkowski added that extra point, and it was now a 34-point lead for the Patriots with the score 44-10. Then, with about 3.5 minutes left to play in the game, Blount ran for his third 1-yard touchdown run, and Gostkowski kicked the extra point, and it was now a 41-point lead for the Patriots with the score 51-10. Then, with about a minute and a half left, Blake Bortles threw his second touchdown pass of the game, this one to Clay Harbor, and it was a 6-yard touchdown reception. The extra point by Myers was good, and it was now 51-17. It was back to a 34-point game, but the game would come to a close moments later, as all that was left to do was for Garoppolo to take a pair of knees. And with those 2 knees in the victory formation, this game came to a merciful close. I don't know if it was that merciful, but the Patriots just dominate at home as they continue to just rail opponents, and Brady continues to put up huge numbers, proving he is one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest quarterback ever to play the game. As Brady was 33 for 42, 358 passing yards, and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Bortles, 17 for 33, 242 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. LeGarrette Blount was the game's leading rusher with 18 carries for 78 yards, including 3 touchdowns. He also had a reception for 14 yards, which gave him 92 total yards on the game. Deion Lewis had 8 carries for 37 yards, including a touchdown as well. He also had 5 receptions for 30 yards, which gave him 67 total yards. The leading rusher for the Jaguars was TJ Yeldon, the rookie from Bama. He had 11 carries for 33 yards. I don't know why I said 8. When we look at the receivers, Gronkowski, the tight end for New England, had 4 receptions for 101 yards. Julian Edelman, 8 receptions for 85 yards. Danny Amendola, who was the recipient of that 400th touchdown of Brady's career, had 5 receptions for 39 yards and a touchdown. And Keyshawn Martin, 3 receptions for 33 yards and a touchdown as well. And then we look on the other side, Allen Hurns, 2 receptions for 70 yards, including that 59-yard touchdown. Robinson had 4 receptions for 68 yards, and Clay Harper, 3 receptions for 43 yards and a touchdown. I actually kind of felt that Brady was trying to force that 400th touchdown. That's why they were getting those field goals early on. It seemed like he just was trying to get it to Gronk, but that wasn't happening, so eventually he just ended up getting it to Amendola. And Gostkowski was busy. He was 3 for 3 on the field goals, 6 for 6 on the extra points. If you had him in your fantasy, then you had a good week. Myers, 1 for 1 on the field goals, 2 for 2 on the extra points. And we look at defense. Paul Posluszny, the Jaguars, was a busy man. He had 14 tackles in this game. He was on the field a lot. As the Patriots, they never left the field without a score. They never punted the ball. They did not punt the ball once. You look at their punt stats, they're non-existent. There was no punts for the Patriots. The Jaguars punted 4 times, but Collins had a sack and a forced fumble for the Pats. Sheard had a sack as well. McCourty had an interception. Davis had a sack for the Jags. We look at team stats, and this was just insane. 35 first downs for the Patriots, which was 20 more than the Jags, who had just 15 total first downs, which is crazy. And you look at third downs, the Patriots, 11 third down conversions out of 14 attempts. That's 78% on third downs. That's freaking unheard of. You look at the Jags, 6 for 12, 50% on third downs. They went for it once on fourth down. They did not convert. You look at total net yards. The Patriots, 471. The Jaguars, 293. Net rushing yards, 125 for the Pats, 57 for the Jags. Net passing yards, 346 for the Patriots. As Brady was sacked twice for a total of 12-yard loss. And for the Jags, 236 as Bortles was sacked twice for a total of 6 yards lost. And we look at the penalties for each of these two teams. And what a huge discrepancy here as well, as we see that the Jags, 7 penalties for 114 yards. It's friggin' nuts. The Patriots, just 4 penalties for 30 yards. And we look at in the red zone, the Patriots, 6 red zone touchdowns out of 8 trips, 75%, 5 for 6 on goal to go. That's 83%. The Jags just 1 for 2. That's 50%. And goal to go, they were 1 for 1. We get time of possession, 34 minutes and 40 seconds for the Pats, 25 minutes and 20 seconds for the Jags. So this game was just total domination by the Patriots. As Brady has got that chip on his shoulder. You don't want to give him a chip. You give Brady a chip, he's going to make some chocolate chip cookies out of your defense. As he's going to expose all the holes. And it's going to be sweet. And that's what it was. Brady just was shredding them. And then even once they got up big, then they just started pounding the ball with LeGarrette Blount. And he ended up with those 3 touchdowns. That was crazy. It was almost like an afterthought that he had those 3 touchdowns. It was crazy. You know, he scored 21 points by himself in the second half there for LeGarrette Blount. That was the thing. They just wouldn't stop. They just kept pouring it on. They said they scored on every single possession. The only possession they didn't score on was the final possession, as I said earlier, when Garoppolo came in to take the 2 knees. That was just crazy, too. Brady was in there all the way down. You know what I mean? They just kept pouring it on. It's a huge win for the Patriots. They remain undefeated. They're 3-0. And as I've stated before, I'm sure you're familiar with, teams that start 3-0 have made the playoffs 75% of the time. And in a tough AFC East, the Patriots are in first place, and they have the inside track on winning the division once again, as they own their division. You can go look at the numbers. The Patriots, 3-0, are sitting on top of the AFC East. The Jags, 1-2. You know, tough game, tough schedule to start. They did get that 1 win already, so, you know, at least there's that. But not a good game for Jacksonville by any stretch of the imagination. They just got dominated on both sides of the ball. And it shows, you know, the difference between the Super Bowl champions and then everybody else. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. I don't think the Jags are really that bad. It's just the Patriots are just that good. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. Thank you very much for listening. It's greatly appreciated. I hope you're having a good day and had a great weekend and enjoyed all the sports.